Hello everyone, welcome back. Uh, in our previous video, we discussed how to use Azure AI Computer Vision Service and work with images, OCR capabilities, and things like that. So today I'm going to talk about another Azure AI service, uh, one of the very famous service. It's called Azure OpenAI service. So here's the use case, right? So let's say you are developing an application, uh, and as part of this new application, you need to provide conversational Gen AI experience to end users. It could be like an assistant, um, like a co-pilot, chatbot. One of the very famous service provider is OpenAI. They provide a bunch of language models, GPT-4, and recently they introduced GPT-5, and you can consume them to provide this experience. So if you are a Microsoft Azure AI subscriber, you don't have to step out of this Azure portal. You can actually use OpenAI services within your Azure AI services catalog. So let me show you how you can get started. You can go to create a resource option, AI and machine learning, and then you have at the top Azure OpenAI as a new resource type. So you can say create. You can pick a subscription, pick your resource group, and pick the region. You can give it a name. And this name is very important. This will be part of your endpoint, and also the pricing tier. Um, for some reason, I did not come across a free tier, even though I selected different regions. It always start with the standard tier, and you can also examine the details around the pricing. So as you can see, Azure OpenAI service pricing, um, depending on the region, and also depending on the model, you have different prices and consumption quotas. So let's go back to Azure portal, and then you can say next. You can leave all these default settings as it is, um, and then hit create when the review is completed. So while it's getting created, let me also bring your attention to another important thing. I think you remember in my previous video, we talked about the computer vision, and when we created a computer vision resource, and when we wanted to test it, when we wanted to explore the capabilities, um, we had to go to this portal called Vision Studio. So when you click this, it will take you to a completely a different portal where you have a bunch of options to try different use cases. Similarly, um, when it comes to Azure OpenAI, so let's go to the newly created resource. Uh, you will have to go into a different portal called Azure AI Foundry portal, right? So that's where the freshers get complicated. You have multiple portals, multiple playgrounds for different AI services. Now this resource is created, and when you go to develop, you will see the keys generated and the endpoint, and very importantly, when you go to monitor tab, you will be able to monitor a set of important metrics such as HTTP request, token usage, and latency, and things like that. And also, uh, so what it did actually just created only the resource, uh, templates, but it doesn't deploy any models not yet, right? So now what you need to do is you need to go to AI Foundry portal. I think remember I talked about this AI Foundry portal in one of my previous videos. So now you need to uh, uh, explore the model. So you see bunch of options in the left hand side. So if you start with the home option, um, it has created an API key. It will show you the resource group and different areas to get started: assistant playground, chat playground, and you can also augment the data by bringing your own data. You can fine tune the models, image playgrounds, things like that. And if you try to play around with this chat playground, it says you need to first deploy a base model, right? So it has not deployed the model yet, right? So now you can go to this model catalog and you will see you have various models uh, provided by Azure AI services. And so again, these are different playgrounds: chat, assistant, video, audio. So whatever you select, it will tell you to deploy a base model first. So what you can do is uh, let's say, for example, you're trying to play around with the chat capability. Then you can click create a deployment. That's how you deploy a model, and then it will show you all the available models. So there are 22 models. Certain models require registration, like the newly introduced GPT-5 one. So you can pick something else, let's say GPT-4, and then say confirm. uh, you need to select the deployment type, which is the global standard most of the time, and it'll show you the resource name, the location, capacity 50,000 tokens per minute, and the model version, right? And you can also click customize, and you can configure how you want to deploy the updates into this model, right? So that's a configuration you can decide. And yeah, so uh, you can provide all these, configuration, and then finally say deploy to selected resource, right? So when you say deploy to selected resource, it takes some time and it will deploy the base model behind the scene. So I have already created a different resource and deployed a model already. So let's go to chat, and I have deployed GPT-4 as or mini, um, and this is the model. So here you will be able to provide some context to the model. You can say so you can uh, set some context saying I'm an artist and I'm interested in ancient paintings, right? So then it knows my persona, and then and you can definitely provide more context. This is an example, and then you can say you can put a question. I just gave a question. What's a famous painting of Da Vinci? And says one of the most famous paintings by Leonardo da Vinci is the Mona Lisa. So this is how you can play around with the GPT model which you have deployed now. So you can add your data, you can bring your data, you can augment your own data into the model, and there are some bunch of parameters past messages included and max response, and all these are very important settings that you can configure. And so you can deploy this as a web page, and you can get some prompt samples, and also things like fine tuning and all of that also available, right? So if you go to home page again, so you will see the endpoint, OpenAI endpoint, and the API key. Now the model has deployed already. You can easily embed or integrate your client application with OpenAI service via this endpoint and this key. So I encourage you to try out OpenAI service and capabilities provided by Azure AI services. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you so much.